Well, good morning. I'm here with Davey, who's the co-founder and managing director of H2O Global News. Abby, after working with you for about 6 months now, I think it's been, and it's been very active 6 months. I am very excited to be able to interview you and get a little bit deeper on H2O Global News.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for asking me to be here.
So, I'm looking at your background. I hope you didn't think I was snooping, but you have a background in bulk storage, in tank storage, and in transport. You're the operations director for Storage Terminals Magazine, and also the operations director for Tank News International.
Yes.
Then 2020 comes around, and you started Blue Manta Media,
That's
full
right.
service marketing company for large companies and small companies, offering all the marketing services.
Yeah.
That to me makes a lot, with your background in magazine and director, and so makes a lot of sense, because you probably had that marketing underneath you when you were running those magazines. Then 2021, and you co-founded with your sister H2O Global News.
Correct. The question is why?
Yes. I mean, how did you get from, I look at this, how do you get from bulk storage and tank and directing those operations of those magazines into water?
Into this. I know. The two things. I missed publishing. I never thought I'd say that. I know anyone that's been in publishing will have this, what we call a Marmite effect. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes you fall in and out of love with it, but it turns out that I am well and truly in love with publishing. Secondly, it fascinated me that a lot of the people which were in bulk storage and the oil and gas sector also provided services in the water and wastewater industry. So after a lot of extensive research, looking at organizations which are helping globally to have discussions, I decided that this was a good endeavor based on my experience that I've had in the oil and gas sector. Two extremely successful platforms, really succeeded in their field. And I really believe that I can provide that same level of service to this industry.
How have you found the people, the organizations within the water industry as you have started this great endeavor of H2O Global News?
Pleasantly surprised. Just like the oil and gas industry, it's a very small industry, even though it's such a big global issue that we're trying to deal with, the water crisis. And the best thing that I have found is the passion. There's so much passion which comes from these individuals, and it's everybody I speak to is here for a reason. And often when you work with other different sectors, you might say, oh, it's all about the profit margins. But here it's all about the reason, the cause, the end solution. And that really is a beautiful outlook to the world. And I'm not saying the oil and gas doesn't have that. It really does. They're trying to make changes. They're doing everything they need to do to move to the right track. And I still really admire the people in that sector. But my admiration for people in the water sector is really up there. It's really up there.
So you feel you've been embraced as you came into this? As an outsider, by the way.
Absolute outsider. I was very nervous coming into this industry, as I was welcomed with a warm arm before. I thought, oh, am I going to have that same reaction again? And I really have. Everybody's so friendly. I have had some really nice positive feedback as gratitude to taking on quite the task. Just like Global Waterworks taking on the global communications and the community, we're doing the same with the news and assisting businesses with their marketing. So it's been a delightful response, and I'm very pleased with the decision to go ahead.
Oh, great. So talk a little bit about H2O Global News, kind of content, direction, certainly you're addressing the market, the water market. So kind of give us a profile.
So our job is to work with companies worldwide and understand the real problems which are existing, whether that be environmental, whether that be droughts, flooding from to the other extreme. And as we all know, water quality month's coming up, all of these different innovations and solutions. How do we reach the organizations which are trying to purchase these solutions to make a real impact on the ground? And it's not just the organizations, there's charities doing great works as well. So our job is to provide effective editorial, whether that will be in interview format or Q&A, or just looking at press releases and making sure that we're making as much of a global reach as possible and providing that audience that we are publishing that information as far and as wide as possible. And of course, providing that marketing experience. Now, it's very easy for digital marketing companies to provide an excellent service. There are so many amazing agencies out there. With a niche such as the water industry, what you have found are there are extremely good niche marketing agencies in this industry. Some here in the UK, some in America, and we're working with both of them. That industry knowledge really helps organizations when making the best marketing decisions. So working within a niche and supporting that niche industry, it really helps to guide their marketing budgets, their ROIs, the best target markets, really understanding technologies and how to get that message across. So that's what we do with H2O. We work with other marketing agencies, and of course we have our own, but the speciality and the niche is really important.
You mentioned Water Quality Month coming up here in August, only a little over a week away. What are H2O Global News's plans for that month?
So, absolutely. So we have interviews lined up specifically with individuals within the water quality industry, people that are doing some fantastic work. And we're also offering organizations within this industry a Q&A so that they can focus some key questions and key answers on what they are trying to achieve in the industry. We're also providing a special marketing discount as well for organizations which need help. And all of our editorial and interviews within that month are completely free. So you can jump on board, have discussions with us, and we will provide you advice and as much support that you need.
Wow, it's quite an offering that you're going to have. So let's talk a little bit. You established a partnership with Global Waterworks. There are so many organizations, as you know, within water. Why Global Waterworks and not someone else or another organization?
So many reasons. First are the individuals. So yourself and Mary, the passion that you have for this industry, the longevity that you've had in this industry, and your ambition to resolve the water crisis within 10 years is exciting, it's ambitious, it's targeted. And you are always very, very focused on what is needed in this sector and trying to allow people to come together to create a solution and asking those really difficult questions, which people are still trying to debate. There's incredible polls on your website, for example, discussing whether it should be an infrastructure or an educational starting point to assist all people around the world of what water is, why it's so precious. I'm obviously very much divided on that subject because I'm very keen on education changing. And if people really understand the value of a glass of water, and what goes into getting that water in your glass is not as simple as turning on a tap. And I think if we were to do a poll of 100 children, they probably wouldn't know the value of that glass. So you ask those questions. And the platform that you've created is clean, it's crisp, it's simple to use. And in my personal opinion, it's what is needed in every single sector.
Well, that's good. So you mentioned children. Of course, you know, we're going to publish in September a children's book on water, connecting the children and conserving water. So as we wrap up here, why don't you talk a little bit about H2O Global News and your short-term goals, maybe the year, next 12 months, and then your longer-term goals for the publication.
I think the biggest part of our journey in this industry is to reach out and support as many organizations. You mentioned earlier that we work with big companies and small companies. One of the things which I'm very passionate about is helping companies at any different level. We've helped one-man bands before, up until multi-million, multi-billion pound organizations. There should be no limit to the support that is required to market themselves. So for H2O, the organization, we're going to continue to grow. We're releasing videos on our website, which is going to allow people to be interviewed a little bit like this, talking about topics within the organizations and really embracing different types of marketing for organizations, providing that good service, but moreover, providing a global platform, truly global platform, which has the ability to discuss all areas of the industry, whether that be the technology, whether that be education, whether that will be business mergers and acquisitions. We want to become the #1 resource. And I know we've got a long way to go. There are some incredible organizations doing amazing work, and I don't want to take away from anything that they are doing. But I would like to be up there with them and show that we are of value to this industry. And I would like to continue to grow our team. That's key. So we've recruited a digital marketing manager in-house to work alongside all of our organizations. So everybody has a dedicated account manager. My goal is to be able to recruit more editorial team. So I'm providing even more accessible support. And all of our writers are in the industry, love the industry, and are passionate about the industry. So that's our goals. And my big goal, because I did provide a magazine before, my big goal would be to create a magazine as well, but only digital. So by 2022, I would like to be on the magazine track. So we have some very exciting ideas in the pipeline for that.
Abby, this has been wonderful. As we talked a little bit before we turned on the recording, the growth of H2O Global News has been pretty phenomenal in just the first 6 or 7 months from the standpoint of subscribers and so forth. So you are well on your way and on track, certainly, to be a very significant force for benefiting the water industry and the water sector. Abby, thank you so much for taking time with me this morning.
I really appreciate it, and thank you for your partnership in this interview. It's an absolute pleasure.